What are you procrastinating on? What are you being a perfectionist about? My name is Christine McAllister, and I am here to help you move from being a procrastinator and perfectionistic to proactive and profitable in your business. And so is Popo the dog. He's here to help you as well. So I want to hear from you because I know that as high achievers, procrastination is something that all of us struggle with. And I know that it's something that my clients struggle with. I know that it's something that is a big self-sabotaging trait that so many of us have, or habit, really, not a trait, that so many of us have. And I want to hear from you so that we can address those things specifically. What are you procrastinating on? Now, do you know what causes procrastination? Yes, hi Kim. Yeah, please say hello in the comments so I can say hi to you as well. Do you know what causes procrastination? Procrastination comes mainly from fear. A lot of times we tell ourselves it's a bad habit that I have, there's something wrong with me, I should be better, tomorrow I'll do better, I'm gonna figure this out, I gotta stop procrastinating on this, right? Like we do all of this self-talk that's like meant to motivate us and pump us up, but really doesn't change anything. Go says hello. Hi Jamie, hi Joanne, hi Rachel, good to see all of you, awesome. So procrastination is not something that we typically are going to talk ourselves out of, even though that's what we normally try to do, all right? Procrastination comes from fear. And perfectionism is a form of fear as well. So if you find yourself acting perfectionistic, if you find yourself procrastinating, chances are you've got some underlying fear going on. What might that fear be? It might be a fear of failure. It might be a fear of success. It might be a feeling of feeling overwhelmed, of not knowing where to start. And so that leading to you feeling afraid. It could be so many forms of fear. Yes, Heather, procrastination keeps us safe, right? Because if we don't change, if we don't do something different, then we can't fail at it. Then we can't get criticized for it. Then we can't not be perfect at it. So, one of the things that I would do a lot when I was in school and all the way up through grad school is that I realized that I would put things off to the last minute, and I'd be writing AP English papers, at like 11 o'clock the night before they were due. And I always did well with that because I was a good student. But I also knew deep down that there was this very tangible excuse that I had on things that really, really mattered to me, where I would tell myself, oh, well, if I don't do well, then that's fine because I put it off until the last minute. But I had created the safety for myself in that way. Can you relate to that? Where water break, where maybe you put things off because you're like, oh, well, and maybe this is totally unconscious for you, but if I put it off and then it isn't perfect, then I can tell myself, well, that's because I put it off until the last minute, right? It's not that you didn't have the time, it's that you put it off until the last possible second. And part of that was so that you could say you put it off until the last possible second. One way I really saw this come up for me was when I was working on my documentary in grad school, The First Life with Passion. And I had all semester to do it. And yet there were pieces of it that felt really overwhelming to me that I put off, right? Creating a documentary is a huge project, lots of different phases. And I kept putting parts and pieces of it off because I was like, this is a really big deal to me. This really matters to me. And what if it isn't great? What if it isn't good enough for the producer to air it on PBS? What if it isn't good enough, for me to graduate, since it was my thesis project, right? And so that was one way I really, really saw that come up. And it was a way where over a long period of time, many months, right, I had a whole semester, I also began to put some accountability in place so that I could get it done and not put everything off till the last minute and sit down to edit a 30-minute documentary the night before it was due, right? So let's see here. Yeah, Kim says perfection is what I'm working on overcoming. We might need that time maybe someday. This is why I put things off trying to get it right. And Heather says, I personally get scared. I can't serve all the people that I might reach, so I shouldn't reach out to her or there. I might not be able to serve there. Okay, yeah, right? That's super, super common. What if it's not good enough, right? That's a big fear. What if it's not good enough, which means then what if I'm not good enough, right? Like that reflects on me because our businesses are so personal. There's my other dog being a part of this. So how do we move from procrastinating and perfectionistic to proactive and profitable? And where's this showing up for you? Is it showing up for you in like, okay, some of you said you're not reaching out because you're afraid you can't serve. Some of you said like, are you confused about or having a hard time like putting your messaging and your offers out there? Are you having a hard time in the sales process? Are you like kind of finding yourself refusing to like ask for a sale or do follow-ups? Because what if you don't hear back? What if they say no? Are you afraid to pitch yourself? Are you scared about getting visible? Are you procrastinating on that? Are you procrastinating on putting a package together or choosing a price or narrowing down, just one thing to offer? Yeah, it totally leads to paralysis, Joanne. Sitting and staring at the computer screen. Who can relate to that? How many of you have found yourself just so overwhelmed that when you finally do create time in your super busy schedule to work on your business, you are sitting there and not doing anything because you don't know what to do or where to start? And you haven't done anything in a while because you've been procrastinating so much. Totally. I totally used to do that. I can totally relate to that. Jamie says, me. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So when we're dealing with procrastination, I think it's really important to understand the root cause of it because it helps us release the shame of being a procrastinator, right? The shame of I'm a bad person because I procrastinate, or like I am not successful because I procrastinate, and therefore that means like I can't be successful because I procrastinate. And so that is why, my dogs are super excited about this. Lay down, Coco. That is why I want to share with you one of the things that I've been procrastinating on big time, because I think it's going to help you to know that you can still be struggling with procrastination at any level of your business and still have a business that's super successful. Featuring 2 dogs. So one of the things that I caught myself procrastinating on big time was finishing my book. So one of the 2 big goals that I had for all of 2017 was to create my book, like to write my book, to create that first draft, to create the manuscript, right? So that I could get it to an editor so that I could decide if I was going to self-publish or go with a publishing house, and either way, like be to that next step, right? I took some months off, ladies, from doing anything. And you know why? Because I was procrastinating. And why was I procrastinating? Because this book is Maeve's story and my story. And it is very deeply personal and it really matters. And of course, I want it to be perfect, right? So I'm serving all of these amazing clients on 4 continents, and I am helping them, supporting them, and like achieving this amazing transformation, right? Quitting their jobs, staying out of their jobs, selling, things without a website, nailing their niche, getting so confident, getting so visible, all this stuff. And here I am procrastinating on my book, right? So I caught myself and I said, Christine, this is one of your big goals for the year, right? You're procrastinating. You know where that comes from. You've written an article about it that was featured by Ariana Huffington, right? So procrastination hits close to home for me as well. And again, I share that with you because I want you to know that it doesn't matter where you are in this journey. Sometimes these things just pop up in different ways, right? We see it when stuff really, really matters. Yeah, Joanne says, I feel out of character because it's exactly what I speak to my clients about. Totally. And as I often say, we teach what we need to learn. And you're just a little bit ahead of your clients on it, right? Like you're a little bit farther along on the journey than them. But hello, I work with my clients on procrastination, and I'm calling myself out here because I want you to know that you're not alone, right? And so that fear of being judged negatively that Heather mentioned, that fear of being judged that Kim mentions, right? All of those things totally going on in my head too, right? Because I'm about to share something that's like very, very deeply personal. I've never shared it in this way before. And so this is my book, right? And so what did I do? So I called up my book mentor and I called myself out. I said, look, you got to help me get back on track here because I want to draft this thing done by the end of the year. It's a sprint, 61 days left in the year if you're watching this live, and it's time. It's time. And you know what my mentor said? Christine, you're going to maybe want to write this down. It is about production, not perfection. It's about production, not perfection. It is about getting it out on the paper. In the case of a book, right? In the case of making an offer, it is about making that offer. It is about getting that feedback. It is about finding, what the quote unquote objection is of why people say now's not the right time to work together, right? It is about discovering what the actual thing is that is holding you back. What is the actual thing, right? Getting to the root of that. Because once I started writing that, once I had that realization and I put that, like I called myself out, and not just to myself, but to somebody who got it, who is a published author, and who said, Christine, here's the next thing, production, not perfection. Then I felt freed to just start writing. But just start writing, to not have it all be completely organized, because sometimes, I was getting hung up on linear to just write. And so how do I, move forward with that? And so how do I, where does this go? And what if I'm writing another chapter, whatever? You can translate that for your business, right? Like, what if it doesn't all perfectly fit on this blackboard where I had all my sticky notes, and now I got to get those back out and rearrange every time I add a new chapter? It just became this huge thing in my head. And instead, what happened was I called myself out. I did it. I said, you got to help me get this done in the last 2 months of the year. And literally by having that conversation that afternoon, I said, this is just this weekend. This was Sunday. I said, I'm going to the coffee shop. I'm going to go write. I'm picking that back up. That was my habit earlier in the year. Going out to the coffee shop, a couple hours, getting some quiet time, right, out of the house, away from the chores, away from the people, away from the distractions, and just sitting down and literally handwriting my book in this journal right here. Okay? Now, since it hasn't even been 48 hours since I picked it back up, I have added literally multiple thousands of words to my book since I sort of like broke that track of not doing, right? Since I reversed the momentum. Production, not perfection. I was up really, really early this morning, what I still consider the night, and I created 1,500 words in the space of about an hour. 1,500 words. Because it is about getting back on track, girlfriend. It is about getting back on track. And I am back on track, and I'm fired up about it, obviously. And I want that for you, too. So I want you to share with me what you desire to get back on track with. I'm going to check the comments while you share that with me. Kim says, I get hung up on serving clients doesn't mean selling to them. It means giving freely. Kim, it's both. I believe it's both. I believe you can give freely and ask for the sale. It means giving freely and selling to them, right? It means giving freely and offering them the chance to work more with you in a paid way. Because guess what? They're going to get better results when they pay. They're going to get better results when they pay, because as humans, we value something that we pay for. So it's as much about you charging for their sake so that they implement. If you're a horse trainer and you write a free article and someone reads it and it's like, oh, that's a really good idea. Chances are very good they're not going to go implement it on their own. But if they show up and they're paying for lessons or coaching from you or a course, they're probably going to implement it because they paid for it, especially if they paid a premium for it. That is human psychology. That is not anything other than that. Napoleon Hill talks about it in Think and Grow Rich, which was written over 100 years ago before the internet. Human psychology, we value what we pay for. So yes, give freely. And also, yes, serve and ask for the sale. Both. You both get to win. Joanne says, thank you for sharing this, Christine McAllister. You're so welcome. Kim says it's not about us. It's about helping that person with our solution. Totally. And like giving them the opportunity to be helped with it, right? Rather than like holding yourself back and not helping them because of your procrastinating issues. Okay. So if you want to move from procrastinating and perfectionistic to proactive and profitable, the first thing to do is to drop right here in the comments what you've been procrastinating on and why do you think that is, right? Some of you have already shared what that is. The second thing to do after you have shared what you've been procrastinating on, and if you know why, you don't have to know why, that's just bonus. Share what you've been procrastinating on, what you've been being a perfectionist about. And then I would love to challenge you to commit to writing a post in the group that things are going to change, right? Writing a post in this group that you are committed to change and asking us all to check in with you on one simple step that you're going to make, right? So Heather says she's been procrastinating on going live, putting yourself out there and telling your story. Okay. So Heather, you could package all of those up and do like a 5-minute live. Maybe that's your next action step. It's just do a simple 5-minute live, right? Like this is like a Tuesday tips style live stream. We're about to wrap up here within the next minute or two. So if anybody has questions, I want you to drop them below. But one thing I used to feel was that I had to have an hour if I was going to do a live, right? And then I realized, hey, a 15-minute live, people might not watch me for an hour, but different people might watch me for 15 minutes, right? I've got a ton of resources on my YouTube channel that are a lot longer, but I want to come here and give you actionable tips to like inspire you to action. Kim, for you, it's telling people about your online course. Cool. I'd love to challenge you to write a post in the group today about your online course. You guys let me know if you're up for that. 5-minute challenge, 5-minute live, giving your overview, Heather, Tuesday tip style. That could be your action step. Kim, telling people about your online course, writing a post in the group. I'd love for that to be your action step. You guys keep dropping these in because we're going to wrap up in 1 minute. I got to go make a smoothie before my, I have a full day of coaching calls. Laura says, oh my gosh, I've totally been procrastinating on going live. Okay, if that's the thing you feel like you need and want and desire to do, Laura, then why don't you just do a 5-minute live too and share it into the group so we can see that you've done it. Joanne says, procrastinating on creating my email sequence. Cool. Joanne, what if you just write the first email? Why don't you just sit down and write the first email that people receive after they get your opt-in? Just the first email. And maybe post that in the group and we'll give you some feedback on that. You guys, I'm loving the hearts. I'm loving the comments. This is so much fun. Thank you for all the likes. I love it, love it, love it. I'm going to give you 1 more minute, literally, to see if anybody else wants to drop in. Ladies, I want you to consider if those action steps feel good. I would love for you to complete those today and post about them in the group. Show us that you did them. And if anybody else has questions, if anybody else wants this, I will give you a personal challenge, right, to complete today to like break through that procrastination right now, because on the other side of that, there's so much energy, there's so much lightness. I was feeling really heavy knowing that like kind of the book was hanging over me, but I wasn't making any progress on it. Now I'm feeling amazing in that part of my life. It's opened up so much more creativity for a lot of other things. I've come up with like a million ideas in the past less than 48 hours alone. I want you to experience that natural high as well, because this is powerful stuff, you all. This is powerful stuff. I'm sprinting between now and the end of the year on finishing my book manuscript. But guess what? It started with me just writing this morning for a little while, right? It started with me just writing this morning for a little while and going, cool, today I did that, right? Today I did the thing I've been procrastinating on. That feels so good. Everything else is a bonus, right? I don't have that pressure anymore, okay? So what is that for you? And what small step can you take toward it today? I'm so excited to hear your answers, and I'm so excited to see your lives. I'm so excited to read your post about your online course, Kim. Joanne's going to post your email. Wow! Awesome. And Jamie says she has to go because she has a client at 10 a.m. too. Yeah, girl. Awesome. Have a great day. Jamie, have a great day. Everyone, ladies, this is so good. Thank you for joining me for this Tuesday tips on how to move from procrastinating and perfectionistic to proactive and profitable. You've got this. I've got this. We've got this. Let's do this together. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.